guys, it's coffee time, and before I even take a drink, I have to point out to you that this is a completely blank mug, like what adults use. What's happening, Dodger? Was there no shark inside of it? Was it truly just a blank, normal mug? Yes, it was. And no, it's not because I ran out of mugs. I think that that would be actually impossible for me given the number and the state of our cupboards right now. I don't know. Ro, I think, like, went nuts and bought, like, just plain versions of everything. Like, we have a bunch of plain plates, plain bowls, plain everything, you know, in case we need it for something. And when I opened up the cupboard, I was like, oh, that's a mug I haven't used. And then I had already poured coffee into it by the time I went, this is just a mug. This is like a normal mug. I don't know what to do with myself. Anywho, I have a kind of story for you. It's not that interesting. I just feel like I have to tell somebody, so I might as well tell everybody. You know that feeling? Yeah. So, some backstory. I am a low maintenance person in terms of like taking care of myself, which is why I typically, if I have no idea what to do with my hair, throw it into a ponytail and will wear jeans and t-shirts most of the time because it's easy, right? So along the lines of that, ever since I was young, I've gotten everything waxed because my skin is very sensitive. So like as a kid, I was that awkward kid who was not shaving their armpits when they really needed to because I couldn't. So I reached a certain age where my mom was like, alright, I think that maybe we should try like waxing stuff because that way if you can handle it, if you can deal with it, then it'll turn out that the hair will come in finer, it'll be lighter, it won't come in, quite as intensely. And, once you get it waxed, it's like you don't have to do anything for a couple weeks at least, depending on where you got the waxing. So I was like, okay, terrified, right? Thinking that it would just be the worst thing ever. And the girl who did my first waxings was like the sweetest person ever. Ever. And she waxed all of me for so many years, like into high school, I think. Yeah, totally, and I think through high school. Man, she and I, we had a bond. When I was really young, though, I didn't understand that kind of making a game of it and screaming at the top of my lungs like she was murdering me would actually not help her business very much. She would wax my eyebrows, right? And I would scream. I would be like, ah! And she would laugh. But I reached an age at one point where I realized it was the sort of laugh where she was like, I don't know what to do with you. And so after that, my mom and I actually talked about it. My mom was like, you realize that when other customers come in and they hear you making a fuss, it makes it sound like she's not good at her job. And I was like, oh no, I'm the worst. I'm the worst person. So after that, I was an adult, I was a big girl, I didn't make a sound. Because after you get something waxed a couple times, it's actually not that bad after that. So I decided today to try a new place. And up until this point, I've been very lucky. I've been so lucky with the people who have done my waxing. They've all been so nice because it has to be somebody who is very peppy and cheerful because they're gonna hurt you. They're gonna be like, oh, you don't like your armpits being waxed? Well, that's too bad. And then you go, oh, why did this have to happen? So every person that I've ever gone to has been so nice. So nice, very personable, talks to you as though they actually care about your life, which they'll probably just forget it all later. There have been a couple of people who for some reason have retained like all of the information about my life and I'm like, oh, you care, right? That means that they're good at their job. They make you feel like they really care about you. So this person that I went to today did not care. Oh my gosh, did she not care. I called her the wax monster for the rest of the day. Every time I've regaled people with this story, I've called her the wax monster because I use the term monster not because she was grotesque in any way or because she breathed fire or anything like that. I use monster because I feel like when you're talking about a job type, a person who is terrible at that job is a monster version of it. So this was a wax monster. She was a wax monster. I went in, everybody else in this place is so nice. So nice, so attentive. I got there really early because I was put down tentatively rather than as a for sure customer, because I was new and they didn't want to, like, yeah, anyway. It doesn't need explaining. I needed to come in early. I felt that I needed to come in early, so I did. And I was sitting there and they, you know, do you want a drink? Are you okay? Are you happy? I was like, yes, I'm good. I've got triple tits, I'm good. I'm playing games, we're all right. So then she comes out, she's like, hi. I'm like, hi. And she seemed to be perfectly pleasant. And then we walked in and it like instantly dropped. It was like she had this weird face that she put on for her other coworkers so that they thought that she was not a wax monster, when in fact, she was a wax monster. We got in there and immediately dropped. She asked me all these questions about myself, but didn't actually seem to care. And, like, questions that pertain to the job, not like, what do you do? Like, have you ever been waxed before, etc., etc., etc. Like, do you know all of these things? Irritation levels and all whatever. And I was like, yeah, I've been doing this for a while, I'm good. And she was like, all right. So, the entire time that this is going on, typically, waxers will try to trick you, because if you flinch or if your skin is really tight, the hair doesn't come out as easily. If it's really relaxed, then the hair isn't like clinging, so it'll just rip right out, right? So rather than making me feel relaxed or, you know, messing with the rhythm at all so that I wouldn't know when she was gonna wax anything, it was just me, 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 like as fast as possible. It was the quickest waxing of so many things that I have ever experienced in my life. It was crazy. And the entire time also, she's alternating, asking me questions in the most bored tone I've ever heard in my life. What's your job? Oh, I do stuff with YouTube. Wax, 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 wax. What do you do for fun? It's like, you don't care. You don't even care. And I would have laughed. Guys, it was to the point, it was the type of tone where a question that should be jovial coming out of that tone sounded so funny that I almost laughed, but the laughter was always cut off by her ripping my hair out and thus putting me in pain rather than cheerfulness. And it was just so bizarre. She was a wax monster. It was incredible. I don't know if at first I was like, wow, never going back there, which I'm not. I'm totally not gonna go back there. And if any of you that work there are watching this, I'm so sorry that this wound up being the way that I feel, but you have a wax monster working for you and you need to take care of that. It's like a bug problem. But there was part of me that had that feeling of there are no bad days, just good stories, right? So I walked away from it and was sitting waiting for my bus, and I was like, this is something that I am going to rant to people about for days. For days. Oh, I knew that there was like a little piece of information that I left out, because I said she was alternating between asking me inane questions in a bored voice and telling me not to flinch. So she'd be like asking me a question and then I'd like kind of answer and she'd go, don't flinch. Like get really upset with me. It's like, and then you guys are like stressed out. You're like, don't flinch, don't flinch, don't flinch. But then you're watching her and then you know exactly when she's gonna pull and she's not messing with the rhythm at all. So you know when she's gonna pull anyway. Oh gosh. It's terrible. So yeah, guys, if ever you've tried waxing and that has been your experience and you've said, never again will I wax, If you enjoyed the wax itself, but the bedside manner of the person who did it just upset you to your very core, then maybe you should try it again, because this is the first time that this has been a problem for me. Just throwing that out there. Just throwing it out there. I realize that this is a very girly topic for this. Swimmers and other things get waxed of the male and female persuasion. Plenty of men get waxed. I think they just don't talk about it as often as women do. And women wax more things, I think. I don't know. Now I want to know. Now I want to ask people. I want to be like, yo, on the DL, do you wax stuff? I'm going to go to all of my guy friends. Do you wax stuff? I'm going to say it out of the side of my mouth and everything. I will report back. Oh, now I want to know. That's going to be my job for the rest of tonight. Anywho. I hope that you guys had an amazing day, that you didn't come in contact with a monster of any career persuasion, and I will talk to you again tomorrow.